You're here to receive a very special psychic prescription, much like a weather report, for how to best work and play with the universal energies that will be available this week. And that's the week from the 30th of May to the 5th of June 2020. I'm Kylie Savage Psychic, and this is the weekly Oracle card reading. If this is the first time you visited my channel, then welcome. And if you've been watching along for a while, then welcome back. I'm trusting that you're going to take something from these videos that's going to assist and support you in your daily life. To change things up a little bit, I put a post on my Facebook page asking for members to comment with a question for the weekly Oracle card reading. And I want to thank Talia for her contribution. I'm trusting that you understand, Talia, when I tell you that I've tweaked your question a little bit just to fit in with my process and the way that I work and I do these readings. So, the question I'm asking this week is, how can we be part of the solution and not the problem when it comes to creating a better world? Okay, and if you are new to this channel and these videos, I want you to know that I've been changing things up a little bit. Inspired by Colette Baron-Reid, whose cards I use mostly, and I've been doing a 6-card reading. And I would like to make these readings as interactive as possible. I actually put a post on my Facebook page with a photo of the cards. The backs of the cards, so asking people to choose a number there as well, and then come over in here and watch the reveal. So you may have already chosen your number between 1 and 6, but if you haven't, you can go ahead and do that now. Okay, remember your number, because that's going to be the number of the card whose message is just a little bit more relevant and pertinent for you and for whatever is going on in your life right now. Okay, I don't want to waffle on. I get sidetracked very easily. So I just want to get into the reading, and I will just quickly explain how I've been doing them. So, inspired by Colette doing the 6-card reading and getting people to choose a number, I've chosen 6 cards, but to make it a little bit different, I've chosen 3 cards from one deck and 3 cards from another deck. So what that means is the top 3 cards, that's the main reading. And this week, that's from the Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron-Reid. The bottom 3 cards, which will be from the I always get it wrong, Nature's Whispers Oracle by Angela Hartfield. Those cards will be the qualifying cards for the top cards. Now, qualifying card, that just means that the qualifying card adds a little bit more of an explanation, some further insights and details to the message of that top card. I trust that I'm explaining this correctly. If you ever have any questions, get in touch. And I'd love for you to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that little bell to get notified of when these videos come out. That would be terrific. Okay, so our anchor card. If you chose card number 1, this is your card, and it is Never-Ending Story in Protection. I just want to let you know the first 3 cards all came out in protection, and we know what cards in protection mean in Colette's decks. They're just an extra hug from the universe. The universe is sending you more love and support to get you to course correct and get back on track. So Never-Ending Story, what that's about, I actually want to read the message from the guidebook, because I think that's very relevant. Okay. Just making sure I did actually get the right page. Yes. Okay. The protection message. This is a time to avoid drama at all costs, especially when it comes to other people's stuff. Your sensitivity is on overload these days, and you're best served by keeping your distance. Your mantra today is not my circus, not my monkeys. All this drama will pass, and you will carry on unscathed and blameless. So, what I'm seeing in these cards is that there's a big message about self-care. So I want you to keep that in mind as I go through the reading. There's a big message about self-care, about, I call it turtle time, like, tucking your head into your shell. I think I talked about this last week. And just, letting things pass over you and, sticking your head back out when you feel like things have calmed down, that's safe to do so. Please don't ever feel guilty for doing what you need to do to survive, to do more than survive, to thrive, and to be able to feel safe and secure and okay in this world. You're not living other people's lives. You can't. The only life you can ever live is your own. And it's up to you how you do that. And you most certainly have the right to do whatever you need to do without harming others, um, to take good care of yourself and meet your own needs. And if that means withdrawing, and bringing your energy back to yourself and staying out of things, then whatever somebody says about that, if you get judged for that, that's on them. You need to do what's right for you. So with Never Ending Story, what Spirit want you to know is it's very important for you to not engage in dramas, especially if they are related to other people. It doesn't personally affect you or need a response from you. If you are not in any immediate danger or need, and if you have the opportunity to bow out on this, then that's a really good idea to do that this week. Okay, so being mindful of that, the qualifying card for that, which is card number 4, if you chose it, is Potential Gateway. So there's a message running along with some of the cards underneath, which is about sort of, okay, if the card on the top is giving you a message, and the card on the bottom is giving you kind of like the next right action to take when you understand the message from the top cards. So, potential gateway. When we are bringing the focus back to ourselves, to our own corner of the universe, and we are, detaching with love from what's going on the outside, what is it that we can do? What opportunities are opening up and unfolding for us as we do that? And if this is a time to, really go deeply within, to go and do some, deep meditation, some journaling, have a lot of quiet time, connecting with nature, that sort of thing, you possibly will find that the flow of your intuition will be clearer as you do this, and further opportunities will unfold. You'll be able to hear voices that you haven't been hearing lately. You'll be able to hear the voice of your soul and your heart, and you'll be able to just be with this part of you. And Spirit are really saying that the potentiality for connecting with other worlds, other wisdom, other energies, and even almost like, connecting with like energies through states of trance or trance-like states, that potential is really there. And the thing is, when the outside world is calling to us and it gets busy and it gets loud and our attention and focus gets pulled away out to, to all those really loud things, then what is it that we're not hearing? Whose voices are not being heard from? And often it's the stuff like when we come back to us and we connect in and we tune in and we look at what really works for us and what helps us to live each day to the best of our ability. It's those voices that we reconnect with, and it's that inner wisdom. So what they're saying with this card is there's the potential gateway. If we quieten down the outside noise, we come back to us, and then we listen for that, that still small voice within us. What does it say? And sometimes, we expect our intuition to be as loud as the outside noises, and it's very often not. And remember, you hear your intuition just as your own voice in your head, or a feeling, or maybe a dream, or maybe a vision. There's so many ways to experience intuition. But just know that that potential is really there this week. And I'm really excited because often some great creativity comes out of listening to your intuition. Sometimes the whole, course of your life can be corrected and can be changed through just going within and listening to those quieter voices. So please, if something like that happens for you this week or going forward, I'd love to hear about it. Um, the way of life that I live, I call it living an intuitive way of life, and the practice of it is very non-Western. It's not like I can see that there were some influences on me growing up that kind of encouraged this way of life, yet mostly I was taught the opposite. You know, when you're taught that things like ghosts don't exist, intuition is nothing, or it's just women's intuition, women's knowing, it's a woman thing. When you're, raised in a culture and a society which doesn't believe in you or what you can do, then you're constantly swimming upstream and you're constantly resisting those influences to be able to be who you are. And I'm really grateful, like in that question I'm asking, what can we do to be part of the solution? I'm really, really grateful to have had the resilience and the courage to live my life, to live my life in a truthful and honest way, and to respect my abilities and to go and develop them and to be part of the solution. So the more people who stand in their truth, what that does is it creates a safer environment for other people to stand in theirs. So know that, being part of the solution often is just about being more you, being the authentic expression of yourself, your truest self. And that takes a lot of courage to live like that. And if you're doing that right now, I really commend you. Okay, card number 2. She said, Spirit, when you see this card, and I'm really taking this on board because I've been getting this message lately myself. When you see time for a nap in protection, it's a hit over the head to say, gal, you need a rest. And when I was shuffling these cards, this card jumped out and it fell on the floor. And someone said to me years ago, a saying which I try to get out of my head. It's like, what falls to the floor comes to the door, which is a very old, I think it's associated with tarot, very old saying or wives' tale. So I picked it up and it was time for a nap. And I thought, guaranteed that card will come out in the reading. And it did, except for it wasn't upright. It was in protection. So remember, cards in protection, just extra loving support to course correct and get back on our path. Pardon me. Okay, so time for a nap in protection is saying we're overloaded, overwhelmed. Our sensitivity is, kind of being bombarded. And the same message as never ending story in protection. We need to withdraw, lovingly detach, come home to ourselves, and we need to rest. Pandemic fatigue is real, people. I've only sort of just recognized it in the last few weeks. It's massive. And if you're feeling completely exhausted, and I was listening to Mamma Mia, and Mia Freeman mentioned, why people are so tired, it's probably decision fatigue too. What to do, how to do it, not to do it. Do you shop? Do you get online shopping? Do you go out? Do you not go out? Is it safe? Is it not safe? Boom, 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 boom. And we're all just a bit exhausted. So if you're feeling like that, just know that's completely normal and natural. It's absolutely understandable under the circumstances. Do what you can. Fill up your sleep bank, fill up your rest bank, meditate more, time out, maybe turn the devices off, switch things off. Don't feel bad if you're not switched to the news 24/7, which I think is like self-abuse. And you're just reaching for the rom-coms and the lighter stuff and the funny stuff. We need balance. We really do. And if you're at this state of mental, physical, emotional, spiritual exhaustion, then you really need to slow down and stop. Because if you don't take care of you, often something can happen which will make you take care of you. I'm so familiar with the burnout cycle. I'm an Aries and I'm a fire sign, and I say the thing that I'm trying to cultivate, in this part of my life is the slow burn. I can be very risky and optimistic and impulsive, and I rush into things like a hot spark, and then all my energy fizzles out, and I'm down to nothing. So rather than be in that cycle of, high energy and burnout, perhaps we need to all cultivate the slow burn because, going from one crisis to the next, we need resilience. We're in a marathon, not a sprint. The world's problems aren't going to end tomorrow, and if we're going to have the energy to face life and accept it on life's terms, we must take care of ourselves. So let's just pare it down. Basic needs, the essentials, prioritize, get those things right. Now, the qualifying card for time for a nap and protection, which is card number, I have to count 5, is be spontaneous. So be spontaneous is if life has all been sort of one, glaring, jarring, noisy colours, then perhaps we need to change track. We need to wind things down. We need to put the slow music on. We need to draw the blinds. We need to, put nap time in, bedtime, put the clock forward a bit. So instead of getting to bed at 11, 11:30, start winding down for the evening around 9:30, 10. And being spontaneous is about, we have so many roles and responsibilities and duties, things that we have to do every day. Lots of those things we don't actually really want to do. And yes, part of being an adult is doing things you don't want to do. Yet, who wants to live a life that's no fun, that's joyless, that lacks, those beautiful colours in it? No one. We need to bring the joy and the spontaneity back in life and make life fun. And what that does is that re-energizes us just as much as a nap or a meditation or getting more sleep, looking at our sleep hygiene, things like that, improving our health habits. Being spontaneous, for me, I always used to choose one thing each day that I really wanted to do. And, I get out of the habit of that. So then every time I fall off the wagon, I just got to begin again. So I'm looking at beginning again, what's one thing each day that I can do that I really want to do? And I know when I'm running super rough because I get fierce about protecting those things I want to do. So one thing I want to do is I want to watch one TV show, one episode of one TV show. I want to sit there and I want to enjoy that TV show and I don't want to be interrupted and I just want that to be my time. And then I'll go ahead and set the day. And I've noticed during the whole pandemic, my morning routines just went out the window. I'm very much a morning person. My energy is better in the morning and I like to do things then. And now I find I'm doing all my work in the afternoon. So I'm hoping as things keep changing that I'll get back to being a morning person and doing the bulk of my work in the mornings. I really like to clock off, even though I work for myself. I like to say, okay, I'm finishing at 5 today or I'm finishing at 6 and that's it. I'm off. So yeah, be spontaneous. Look for those opportunities to bring the joy and the spontaneity into your life. If a friend rings you up and says, we can go for coffee now, would you like to? That might be a great idea for you. Having some time outside and having a sunbath, that might be nice. Having a detox from technology, just an hour in the day, something like that might be nice. Painting, doing something creative, reading a book. Just indulge people. Indulge in something joyful and spontaneous and light and freeing just for you each day. Doesn't have to take up your whole day. Okay, and if this is really basic for you, start with 5 minutes and get into that habit, grow that habit of nourishing yourself and looking after yourself. Okay, card number 3. It's making me a bit sad because I love this card and I hardly ever see it in protection. It's milk and honey and it's in protection. So this is dire, people. You see the little elephant, he's having a bath in the cereal bowl. It's so cute. When milk and honey is in protection, if you chose card number 3, this is your card. If I didn't say that. When it's in protection, it's saying, oh, like we're seriously undernourished and underfed right here. No, go away. I'm telling my partner to go away. He's interrupting our video. It's not good. Okay. I had it marked out. Milk and honey, which was 51. Oh, and it's in protection because I thought it was good to talk about this. Yeah, because I hardly ever see it in protection. A nameless unease compels you to turn to pleasure and comfort as a means to escape what's really going on. It works in the moment, but only fleetingly, before the feelings return and you need to re-up until you're exhausted. Feeling worse than before, you may continue struggling. or you may see the light and choose to surrender to spirit. Now is the time for practicing extreme self care. If you can, do so before you engage in behaviors you'll regret later. You are so loved, so cared for. Feel love and compassion for yourself. Turn your troubles over to the divine for healing. That's all that counts right now. Oh, I love that. Look, I'm totally guilty of it. My milk and honey and protection was last week just dive bombing chocolate and lollies. And it's funny, like I don't always really like to eat lollies, but when I want to eat lollies, it's because I'm heading towards exhaustion and I'm looking for that sugar hit, make me feel better. So if you're diving into like the comfort eating, the comfort drinking, the comfort shopping, anything that you might, say it's a self-care practice, but it's actually turned into um, quite a not so healthy indulgence. If you're getting there, like listen to the signs, see your behavior for what it is. Are you calling out for something else deep and nurturing, a healthier practice, which is going to help you reestablish some balance in your life? And please just be kind to yourself. We're all experiencing things differently and we're all under massive amounts of stress. And it is up to us. We know us best, so we know what's going to fill the bucket up. We know when we're engaging in, an indulgent behavior, which is like, they're called shadow comforts. I remembered, I was forgetting. I forgot. Thanks to my health coach for teaching me all about this. A shadow comfort is not self-care. If you're eating, lollies and chocolate to excess, that's not self-care. That's a shadow comfort. That's saying there is a need. Something in me needs to, needs to be comforted or soothed, or there's some sort of need which is not being filled. And what's the quickest way to do that? So look at, if you're craving things, it's funny, we don't always crave exercise and salad, do we? That's something else my health coach talks about. So if you've noticed unusual behavior in yourself too, just be observant of it, acknowledge it, don't judge it, be kind to yourself and say, okay, what is it that I really truly need? And see about doing something about that. Okay, the qualifying card for that. I really do like this one as well. I feel like we all need a holiday. Card number 6 is adventure, and it is saying that too. If you can get away and have a short break, if we can just do something to have like a pattern interrupt from this extreme stress and exhaustion and the crises that we've been going through. If we can just have a pattern interrupt and do something nice for ourselves, not feel bad about it. Yes, we acknowledge people are suffering, people are dying. There's always been turmoil in the world, and we're just seeing it in very extreme cases. And in past generations, they didn't have the internet like streaming it into your house and putting it on your face and putting it on all your screens. And they weren't bombarded the way that we are today. So, I mean, that builds our stress levels. And, forcing the responsibility onto the individual and saying, oh, just disconnect. I think that's kind of very irresponsible of, institutions and media and everything to say that. It's like telling fat people, oh, just don't eat. It's not compassionate. It doesn't speak to the heart of the problem, and it doesn't assist and support us to make changes which are better for everyone. It's really ducking the responsibility, and I can't stand that. It's a real pet hate. Everyone needs to take responsibility for what's going on. And, we don't all have equal access to things, to education, to support, and, to make changes for ourselves. So when people just, shove the blame and the responsibility back onto the individual, that really makes me cranky because there's a lot more to the issue than that. Okay, I did want to read the message from Adventure, which was card 30. I really like this. And these cards, they're so super beautiful, and I highly recommend them. Okay, it is an excellent time to take a short joint anywhere that inspires you. And if your budget only, takes you to the local park, well, that's worth it. If you enjoy horseback riding or riding a bike, create the opportunity to do this. Just get outdoors and travel. It will help you break out of your routine. It may also expose you to a different outlook, a new opportunity, or escapade. You are really going to feel so much better after taking a break. There's no feeling quite like having the wind blow through your hair or the sun on your back. I've been having mini staycations again, and not all restrictions have been eased everywhere. And I mean, like I talked about last week, just because restrictions have been eased doesn't mean it's a great idea to get out there and try and get back to normal life, whatever that is. I really think we still need to apply a great level of caution and take good care of ourselves out there. So, the weather's been beautiful the last few days. I'm just trying to make sure I get out there and play with the dog and get some sun. Um, Break up my routines a little bit, change them up rather than always having coffee at the table, taking my coffee outside. And we don't all have the budget for, getting away. It makes me cranky when people say to me, oh, just get away somewhere. And you think, well, good for you. You've got the budget for it. I know what it's like to not have any money for extras. So, but that doesn't mean that we can't create moments of joy and times that take us out of our everyday routine and don't just provide some relief from all the stresses that we're facing. And look, if you're having a fabulous time at the moment and you're thriving and your weeks have been brilliant, then good on you. I'm so happy for you. And just take what you like from this message and leave the rest. Okay, I am wishing you many, many blessings on your week. I'm excited about next week. We have some really cool astrology coming up in June. Remember to go and check out Weekly Astrology with Yasmin, which is a podcast. I'll go and look at her Moonology books or her website to find out more about it. And if you read up on it, you'll know all about it before next week and you'd be able to educate me. Okay, terrific. See you next week.